friends. Welcome to my Finding Lost Civilization series. I'm still here in Robinson Canyon, and I've just shown you a video of the grinding bowls that I found in this area. Well, right after I found those grinding bowls, I made another little discovery that I want to share with you. So in this video, we'll briefly review finding that wonderful grinding mortar area. And then we'll go on to my second observation. So come follow me and let's have some fun. This area is a kind of like what I'll call a hillock. And right over here, I found a flat spot. And beyond these trees is the Robinson Canyon Creek. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to search around this area. There's no trees growing here because there might possibly be a large bedrock mortar here. So I'm going to push away the leaves over here, years worth of foliage, to see if there's anything there. This should be a lot of fun. Well, before we leave this wonderful grinding mortar area, I'm going to share with you one more find that I made, and I think it's terrific. What I want to show you behind me is the den of a dusky-footed woodrat. And there's a colony of them living here. Now this animal is a solitary animal, okay? But they usually or sometimes live in a community, and you can find their dens close by. And in this area I found about 12 of them. Now I think I want to show you, or one of the reasons I want to show you this dusky-footed woodrat is to show you what its den looks like, and also to talk about it being a food staple for the Ohlone Indians. But first, let's take a look. Right over here, if you're walking in a woods, you just might see what you think is a jumble of sticks thrown together. But this is the nest, okay? This is the home, this is the den for the dusky-footed woodrat. Some people call it a pack rat. Now the entrance of the den appears to be in this area. But I tell you what's really interesting about this woodrat is that to keep away lice or insects from its den, it gathers, okay, leaves from a laurel tree, bay leaves, and it puts these leaves around its den because these leaves have an element to them that kill off the larvae for fleas. So, you know, this evolution of life and mankind and how things adapt to each other or to the elements is really fascinating. And one of the things, or one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this den and mention the dusky-footed woodrat is because it was one of the food staples of the Ohlone Indians. Now you might cringe, you know, as a modern man and say, oh my God, I could never eat a rat. But listen, our diets, mankind's diets today, in the Western civilization is actually fairly modern. Now, what do you mean fairly modern? Well, mankind is several million years old, and our diet today is fairly new, and it's relegated to several domesticated animals: the cow, the sheep, the pig, poultry. Yes, those are our main staples. But 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, when mankind was living a hunter-gatherer type society, you lived off the land. You ate insects, you ate lizards, you ate snakes, you ate all manner of meat, all manner of animals. Okay. You were in tune with your environment to survive. And in fact, when the Spaniards came here, they were the first Europeans to come to this area. They were starving. They had lost the ability to live off the land, whereas the Ohlones were living in a land of plenty. The woodrat here was one of their food staples. So let's go visit some other dens. Let's go see how they live. As I said, the woodrat here, or the dusky-footed woodrat, is a solitary animal, lives alone except during mating season, and oftentimes there's a colony nearby. And I found 12 of these dens, so let's go visit a few of them. Well, we're approaching another one, and this one is about 30 feet away from the one we just looked at. Let's go in and take a real close look. You can tell over here looks like right around here, right here, is the entrance. Okay, as I said, if you're walking in the woods, it might just look like a jumble of branches, but this is the dusky-footed woodrat den. So this is very interesting. Sometimes they're in a crook of trees, so let's go find one that's in a tree. Well, we're going forward, and I saw one right in front of us over here that's in a crook of a tree, so to speak. That's a large one. Look at it. It's beautiful. Now, one of the things I want to mention about the acorn and the Ohlone Indians, the acorn was a primary staple. The acorn, let's call it the equivalent to wheat today. It took about 2,000 pounds of acorn to support a warrior, a man. That's quite a lot of acorn in a way. And this is why you'll find these grinding mortar areas under acorn trees or near acorn trees or in groves of acorn trees. So it was very easy to gather this up during the harvest time and have your implements right there. As a hunter-gatherer society, they moved from encampment to encampment to where the food was in a general local area. Okay, so they didn't carry big heavy stone mortars and pestles with them, you know, or pottery. They didn't have pottery. Well, pottery would break. Why would you have pottery? Okay, if you had to travel a lot, go from place to place. What the Ohlones were expert basket weavers. And they used the elements to make these baskets and incorporated this basket making process into their way of life. So food here was aplenty. Okay, it was a land of plenty. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the small little culinary journey that we've taken. If you're ever in a survival situation, shed yourself of modern man thinking, 20th century thinking when it comes to eating for survival. Almost everything around you in the wilderness has some use, okay? Eating a dusky-footed woodrat will not kill you. In fact, it will save you. if you're in that type of situation. Recently, a man drove a car off a cliff. His legs were broken and he couldn't climb out. A week later, he was found and he survived. How did he do that? Well, he drank water from a stream nearby and he ate insects. So, there you have it. Don't be dissuaded in a survival situation from eating those things that today you think are just abhorrent. I could never eat a rat. But let me tell you, it could in fact save your life. So anyways, let's continue our quest for knowledge and finding lost civilizations and past cultures.